Technik kanálu Sandy Munro si tu už zažil zo pár remixov.
Hello?
V ktorých nakladal bomby.
And those guys are going to survive and the rest are going to be fucked.
Je veľmi vďačným objektom, pretože stále nahraje na nejaký smeč. Aktuálne video je so strihom z akcie Tesla Takeover, na ktorej sa tohto roku zúčastnilo šialených 12 miliárd ľudí, na ktorej si videl finálny odpočet doby spaľovákov, na ktorej sa voda menila na víno, na ktorej sa ten najväčší hype stretáva s tou najmenšou dávkou odporu, na ktorej už zrazu nikto nemusel mať to skurvené rúško, na ktorej podal pár slov ten najšedivejší deduš.
Wow, it's a big crowd. Wow. So, wow, these went fly further. I'm doing fine.
You sure?
Anyway, yeah, everything's been beautiful. I don't know who gave me the beer, but thank you. Thanks. Yeah, and happy to be here. We had actually worked on electric vehicles prior to Tesla coming into the marketplace. I really didn't take Tesla seriously until I saw the Model 3. The Model S didn't do it for me. It's an expensive, low-volume car. Then we heard about the Model 3. That was a high-volume car. That's a car that's for the people, like the general population, and we had to have it. But my initial reaction to Tesla was low volume. They're not the kind of cars that I want to waste my time with. But when I got to the Model 3, everything changed. Everything. Nothing's the same. Nothing after Tesla. Nothing.
Time to say goodbye.
Initially, what a piece of shit.
This thing is a miserable job, and we've come to the conclusion that these guys at Tesla are definitely electronic snobs. They don't let anything slide by. The glass inside is making noise. The gaps on this car are like, you can see them from Mars. This is really not so good. But if we look over here, I can barely get my fingernail in. And then we look over here, I can almost put my thumb in. So from a design standpoint, mechanically, there was a lot of things that I would not do. Apart from, like I say, draw a line where the skateboard is, everything from there down. Wow.
I can't begin to tell you how disappointed I was because we had no customers. When happened, we were dead in the water. And I started looking at this thing and I'm thinking, who's going to want to buy a report on this thing? I mean, oh my God, the gaps, you could see them from the moon. But anyways, then once we got past the stuff that is obvious, and once we started digging into the electronics, and when I took the lid off the inverter and we started looking at it, I just about wet myself. It was so impressive. And then as we moved through and started looking at all the electronics and how incredibly efficient and effective the design was, okay, so they can't make the gaps and the paint sucks. But you know what? Everything that really counts, the powertrain, the power distribution, the electronics, the communications, the software, everything was 10 years ahead of everybody else. And it's still 6 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I never liked dealerships. I'm sorry if there's dealership people here in the audience, but I would suggest selling shoes. If we want to talk about manufacturing, you cannot, in your wildest imagination, realize or understand how much Tesla has affected the auto industry around the world. Gigacastings.
Volám sa Epic a toto je myslenie v dekádach. V tomto videu podám pestrú sadu argumentov, prečo konkurencia na prvé miesto Tesly dovidí jedine skrz teleskop.
Everybody on the planet is trying to get in. Everybody on the planet is trying to figure out how they're going to get basically the front and rear of their vehicles, and maybe even the battery boxes, all in great big gigantic castings. When they push the button, it takes less than 1 second to fill that gigantic mold. That is really a feat all by itself. If you do die castings, you're down to about 1/10 of that factory floor space. The number of people that you need to get the job done are infinitely smaller than anything else. None of these clowns wanted to move because why? Because they already had these giant stamping machines. Yeah, mostly what we see is the advancement coming from Tesla is there's nobody that moves that fast. We have a trick phrase and we say that Tesla moves at the speed of thought. The speed of thought. Most of the rest of them move at the speed of a snail or a tortoise, something like that. And so that's why when people say, well, everybody's going to catch up to Tesla, I can tell right away that that person knows nothing. Zero. There's no way that that can happen. Now let's talk about the other end of the spectrum. They fired the little fat kid that used to run Toyota. And he was a useless waste of time. He just happened to be a relative inside that company. BYD will kick anybody's ass in North America except for Tesla. And that's a fact. BYD is not alone. Geely is also absolutely stunning, and they own Europe right now. I've been told by the guys at VW that if you take a German and you can talk them into sitting and driving an electric car that came from China, more than 57% of those people who've sat in it and driven it will forget that they're German and buy a Chinese car. Woe the day that we allow Chinese cars into the United States, because it will be the end of a lot of established OEMs. The Chinese. And that gets me to the bottom of the pit, which is unfortunately Volkswagen. I cannot believe, I thought that they were going to come in and be a real contender against Tesla. And if you've seen my video on the ID4.
Kde začať? Tento koncept od Volkswagenu a jeho potenciálna hypotetická cenovka je fantáziou.
You can see that I was not a happy camper. Nothing worked. Zero worked. VW has lost its way. They've lost 1 million vehicles in China already this year. That's a lot of vehicles to lose. They don't have anything in the market that people want, and they can't even sell them to Germans. I would not recommend looking or wasting your time looking at an ID4. So there you go. You've got the top, the Tesla, and then there's others. I'm pretty sure that when we tear it down, the surprises that we're going to get are going to eclipse anything we've seen on any Tesla vehicle up to now. That's what I'm expecting. That truck will be amazingly safe. Crashworthiness-wise, I imagine that a small tank would come in second against the Cybertruck.
I'm going to give you a tip.
Sandyho playlist nájdeš v záložke kanálu Zoznamy.
Huh? Are you kidding me?